Welcome to this special edition of the YAHOWAH blog. I am your host, the Choter, also known as Yada and Craig Winn. Many of you who follow me on X, or more importantly on Facebook, know that earlier this week I responded to a doctor, his name is Dr. Gary, who had asked me a question about Lag BaOmer. And I gave him a fairly succinct answer, which he appreciated. And I'll share with you the question that he asked and the answer that I gave him, his response. But the purpose of this program is to present a religious response to what I had to say, and then my retort to that, which I think is instructive. And since the man who is responsible for airing our shorts has asked me to do a short on this, here it goes. Many of you have read and shared my response to a question on Lag BaOmer, which is being celebrated in Rabbinic Judaism now. But for those who may be unfamiliar with what he asked and what I responded, let me share it with you again. But this time with an interesting religious addition to the narrative. It was on X that I was asked to comment on the Bar Kokhba revolt and Judaism's resulting Lag BaOmer observation. I wrote, the Bar Kokhba, son of a star revolt, orchestrated by Rabbi Akiba in 133 CE as the father of Rabbinic Judaism, demarcates the most devastating episode between Yahweh and Yehudim. Worse than the Exodus meltdowns and the religious and political uprising suppressed by Elia. It not only prioritized Judaism and rabbis over the covenant in Yahweh. The false Messiah, Bar Kokhba, replaced the true Messiah in the lives of Jews. David played a subordinate role to Bar Kokhba. The rabbis failed to properly assess the hundreds, if not thousands, of prophecies, affirming that Dod, as the Son of God, as the Messiah, as the returning King, would and now has fulfilled Pesach, Matzah, and Bikurim in 33 CE, year 4000 Yah, enabling the benefits of the Bereth, the covenant. Following Rabbi Shaul, Paul's counterfeit Messiah of Jesus Christ in 52 through 66 CE, it was the final straw that broke the relationship between Yahweh and Yehudim, one that I have been asked to repair. It led to total defeat, complete separation from the land and from God, and to the rise of Judaism in opposition to Yahweh. As for Lag BaOmer, it is just more of the same. It is a defiant expression of Judaism as a religious holiday on the 33rd day of the counting of the Omer, which occurs on the 18th day of the Hebrew month of Iyar. According to Rishonim, it is the day on which the plague killed Rabbi Akiba's 24,000 disciples, finally coming to an end. And for this reason, the mourning period of the counting of the Omer concludes on Lag BaOmer in many rabbinical communities. According to Kabbalah, this day is the Helluah of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, or the anniversary of his death. According to late medieval tradition, Simon ben Yochai is buried in Meron, and his association with Kabbalah and the Zohar and the formation of Rabbinic Judaism has Jews today in ancestor worship, lighting bonfires and pilgrimage to Meron in the celebration of the dead rabbi's life rather than Chag Matzah or Shabuah. None of it is according to the Torah or to Yahweh, and that is the problem. Additionally, modern-day Israel, the holiday, now serves as a commemoration of Bar Kokhba's revolt against the Romans, from which the Jews and Israel now have their star, and of course, the curse of Palestine. Yahweh loves Yehudim while despising Judaism. It is time to choose one or the other, because you can't have both. Shortly thereafter, replying to what I had written, Dr. Gary wrote at Yada Craig, "What a cogent and brilliant explanation. Would that more people would embrace the wisdom of Craig Winn at Yada Craig. The poisonous myth and etymology of Palestine can be traced to this devastating event. Separation, indeed. Well, then today, we received a contrarian response to my post against the rabbinical myth of Lag BaOmer. It was presented by Vital Shiba. Hi. So, trying to understand, Craig Winn, why Judaism is despised. These are strong words. It is a layer that adds another coverings, interpretations, and may even cause undue suffering. Yes. But keep in mind that group forming and religion became a necessity for survival. It was also necessary to ensure that the Torah is preserved to this day and age. The Creator does not despise any of his creations. Why would you say that? You understand that you don't speak on behalf of the Creator. This you can be certain! Exclamation point. So on whose behalf are you speaking? To which I replied, you're lying about everything, VS, to yourself and to others. Shame on you. You made no effort to understand Craig Winn, just as Jews made no effort to listen to Yahweh, telling him to shut up and go away. Like so many who pretend to speak for the God whom they do not know, you prefer your religion to the relationship Yahweh intended. If you were actually trying, you would have listened to the Yahowah blogs, and you would have read the 35 books offered at yadayah.com. But you didn't. You don't know Yahweh's name, So you call your unnamed and unknown God the Creator. You are unaware that the most repeated theme in the Torah Nabiim is Yahweh's hatred of religion. You cherish what God despises. It is religion that covers over what Yahweh revealed, also that men could control others. And it is religion that has caused undue suffering, particularly Judaism, for having caused the diaspora through the false Messiah, Bar Kokhba. Rabbis trained Paul, who used what he learned from them to create the myth of Jesus, something you'd be aware of if you had read the 5 volumes of Twistianity. Rabbis failed to recognize the return of King Daud to fulfill Passover. Rabbis are even responsible for creating Islam, something you'd know if you had read the 5 volumes of Goddamn Religion. Rabbis have caused Jews to suffer needlessly, which is why Yahweh hates Judaism. Religion is deadly, according to Yahweh. He demonstrated this when he killed those who made the golden calf, and also those who promoted the Lord and Asherah. Religion played no role in the preservation of the Torah. The Torah is anti-religious. The Talmud is religious, and the Talmud is not the Torah. It was Yahweh who committed his revelations to writing and preserved them. Yahweh's position is the opposite of yours, and that he overtly and consistently states how angry and resentful he is toward his people, which is why he divorced and left Israel. He will only return when Jews finally return to him. Yahweh hates religion. Have you read the Torah or the prophets? How is it that you have missed the single most repeated theme throughout? Every point I make, without exception, is based upon what Yahweh revealed. So I speak for him. Further, there are many hundreds of prophecies affirming that I was chosen and prepared to present him, to be his Kol voice, Bashar herald, Nakri observant foreigner, Zeroah one cultivating the harvest, Ida restoring witness, Choter stem off the main branch, Malak messenger, Adamah Parah bloody red man of the earth who is productive, and Zebomen Edom, the man who comes from Edom. All as Yada, having written Yada Yahowah, which Yahweh himself endorses. I am therefore certain that Yahweh can be trusted, and that I therefore was chosen and equipped to deliver this message. But since your opinion is the opposite of Yahweh's, it's obvious that you speak for the very religion God despises. Ask yourself, why? Was I able to ascertain that Yahweh is the proper pronunciation of God's name and prove it? And all rabbis have done is erase it. Ask yourself, Why I was able to ascertain that Dode is the Messiah, the Son of God, the Passover Lamb, and the returning King. Well, rabbis have missed all of the obvious prophecies regarding this. Ask yourself why I was the first to put God's entire story together from beginning to end, to establish his timeline, to designate the conditions of his covenant, and to explain how the covenant's benefits are delivered through the Moed Mikre. When the rabbis get all of this wrong. Why are there thousands of previously unheralded and readily verifiable insights presented in Yada Yahowah for the first time, all of which the rabbis knew nothing about? When it comes to knowing Yahowah, I have provided a more complete and accurate portrait than all of the rabbis combined. Not that surpassing them was particularly difficult, but since you prefer them and don't like what Yahweh's Choter has to say, I'll leave you to them. I thank you for listening. I am the Choter, Craig Winn, and this has been a special retort as part of the YAHOWAH blog.